I'll be your announcer for tonight, Taryn Orr, and if I mispronounce any names, I'm sorry in advance. So, on the schedule for tonight, we have what's sure to be a very exciting game. So, we are currently going through the announcements in between the players of the varsity girls soccer team tonight, and then we'll get started with our match. So, starting at the end of the line, we have for the Columbia River Chieftains, we have number 23, Sydney Johnson, number 22, Gracia Larson, number 21, Andy Buckley, number 20, Ava Bell, number 19, Logan Dukes, number 18, Anna Ignaz, number 17, Grace Russell, number 16, Shalise Easley, number 15, Olivia Colgan, number 15, Sammy Myers, number 13, Amelia Meyer, number 12, Julia Cash, number 11, Ella Osborne, number 10, Yanisi Rodriguez, number 9, Kyla Castro, number 8, Giselle Valencia Mendez, number 7, Reggie Griffith, number 5, Lucy Inello, number 1, Kelsey Jones, and number 1, Alisa Countryman.
Number 7, Reggie Griffith!
For the visiting Hockinson Hawks, number 18, we have Rachel Edmonds, number 17, Kaylee Findley, number 17, Ellie Summerson, number 15, Peyton Lawson, number 14, Megan Sandel, number 13, Grace Abbott, number 12, Ellie Ritter, number 11, Brooke Gross, number 10, Kaylin Broughton, number 9, Ellie Seekins, number 8, Jamie Jesk, number 7, Rayleigh Stephens, number 6, Kendall McGraw, number 4, Katie Wagner, number 3, Megan Mendelisa, number 1, Amanda Jerske, and number 0, Mason Perry. And for substitutes, we have Lauren Shad, Olivia Rude, Kylie Ritter, and Libby Firth.
Number 20, Ava Bell. Number 21, Andy Buckley.
So we'll get started with the game momentarily.
Number 22, Gracia Larson. Number 23, Sydney Johnson. The teams are coached by assistants Hannah Holland, Geneva Perez, Nat Newman, and Ryan Callahan. Head coach, Julia Fennegas. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will now please rise and remove your hats as we pay respect to this great nation with the playing of our national anthem.
So, after our national anthem, we will get started in just a moment. Yeah? A little bit closer. Okay, gotcha. All right, as the teams get into their huddles and the game ball gets placed at center field, we will get started in 1 moment. The obvious keys tonight for victory are going to be great control and possession of the ball. The more possession time one has, the more opportunities they have to score. And the more opportunities they have to score, the more are going to go in. There's also going to be a key factor of playing defense rather closely with the enemy team to make sure they do not get any shots upon the goal. So, with both teams, I'm guessing this is going to be a very tightly contested game, and we'll have a lot of fun tonight. All right, so the Hockinson Hawks and the Columbia River Chieftains are both heading out their positions on the field now, and they're going to get ready to put the ball into motion and start the game. All right, Hockinson will be receiving the ball first on offense, and we'll see where that goes. All right, so right off the bat, the pass to Katie Wagner goes off to, and it's intercepted by the Chiefs, going off to number 17, back to number 9, up front near the goal, and they kick it out for an early throw-in. So number 15, Olivia Colgate, out to receive that throw-in, and the Chieftains will get set up for that throw-in. Oh, dang it. All right, sorry. So, number 10, quick pass to 12. Out, Hockinson receives the ball. Going out to number 6, quick pass to number 11, and they're zooming down the field, trying to get a crossing, but number 5, Lucia Iannello, denies that. The cross eventually goes in, and after number 6 receives it, passes it back to number 11 for a receiving of the ball. Number 5 defends closely and well, and just like that, the Chieftains have the ball again. Number 17 tries to get past and punts the ball out of bounds for a Hockinson throw-in. All right, the ball is thrown in, and there seems to have been a foul on the throw-in. All right. So now Columbia will get a free kick out into the field of play. The ball is kicked and quickly received by and stolen back by Hockinson. Stolen once again by Columbia River as they battle for position. Then the ball goes out to number 10, and she starts to play it upfield. Back to number 23. Passes it out to number 12. Back again to number 11. And out to number 7. They begin to play the ball up right around midfield. Out to number 12. And Hockinson steals the ball, and they now maintain possession. Pass it back to one of the defenders. She plays it out right about the midfield where the ball was stolen. Where the ball was positioned for by Columbia, but stolen quickly back by Hockinson. Ball is passed back, and Columbia River nearly gets an intercepted pass, but Hockinson manages to retain possession. Back again, number 4. Manages to evade well from offenders. Passes it back. Oh, and the ball is stolen by number 7. Ooh, tightly contested, but she manages to get ahead with it. Then number 17 manages to steal the ball and is kicked out by Hockinson for a Chieftain throw-in. number 5, Lucia Ilnaro, in to throw the throw-in. She hesitates for a second, and there it goes out to number 10, where it's contested by Hockinson and the Chieftains, but eventually Columbia River manages to maintain possession, where it's quickly stolen away by the Hockinson Hawks. It's outplayed by number 11, where she looks for a pass down in center field, but where it's stolen back by the Chieftain defenders and played alongside by number 22. So, then after that, after a tightly contested ball, Hockinson manages to steal it back. Ryer's played out to number 18, then number 4, and then up to center field, where it's passed to number 12, and then 13, and then played upfield to around the 42, where it's quickly stolen back by Chieftains off the intercepted pass, where number 22 plays it along and is stolen back. Oh no, she almost stole it, but number 10 manages to maintain possession of the ball, where it's now stolen by Hockinson, and then quickly taken back by Columbia River in a tightly contested ball. It's played up to about the 10-yard line, right close to the keeper, and then the ball is played out by number 11 on Hockinson for a Chieftains throw-in. The ball is thrown in and quickly kneed out of bounds for another Chieftain throw-in. Quite near the corner, so it's almost a corner kick, but not quite. The ball is once again received for a throw-in, and as she hustles back to the line for that throw-in, the Chieftains get set up. It's thrown in quickly, and after that, the ball is kneed out to around center field by Hockinson defenders trying to get the ball out, whereas retained by Chieftain defenders playing it along back so they can start another drive going. Pass it up to center field, number 23, out to number 13 on the left wing. Number 7 bats it off her knee, where it's quickly stolen by Hockinson defenders and played back up. Whereas now stolen back again by the Chieftains at midfield and played it back to start yet another drive. It's passed up along the right wing this time. Oh, and she nearly had possession, but is stolen by Hockinson. Number 6 passes up to midfield to number 12, where she runs with the ball before passing it out to the left wing with their right wings. My bad. With number 10, right up to forward play where they help to score a goal, but is quickly stolen back by Columbia River. Played up along the left wing. Stolen back by Hockinson. Ooh, she slips and falls, allowing the Chieftains to maintain, and after a contested ball, it goes right back to Hockinson. Played back to the goalie for a quick drive starter. Passed up to number 6. Up again to the right wing, where it's played forward by number 12 at midfield. She starts a drive. She's getting close. Oh, and a shot, and quickly saved by the goalie. Punted out into the field of play again, where Grace Russell manages. Oh, and there it goes out of bounds. Throwing for Columbia River. Pass back to number 20. Maintains possession of the ball. Manages to slip around Hockinson forwarder. Passes out to midfield, where it's played up. Played back again. And right up along the left wing. Passes it out to the sideline. Ooh. And Hockinson manages to seal the ball back after a tightly contested ball. Ooh. Then after a quick play, it's played up to the middle by Columbia River. Passed out and saved by the goalie. The goalie maintains possessions and throws it quickly out to one of the Hockinson defenders. Up to number 6, where the ball is quickly stolen back by Columbia River. Out to midfield again, so another drive can start. Ooh, and a quick play by Hockinson midfielder allows them to seal the ball once more. Tries to play it forward, but it's quickly stolen. Oh no! A shot by one of the Hockinson forwarders, but quickly saved by the goalie. So, the ball is taken back by the Hockinson defenders and hope to play it forward again. Looking for an open man, finds him on the right wing. She plays it forward right into midfield where one of the Hockinson forwarders is waiting. Kept by her, and then almost stolen, but manages to get it out to one of her pals on the left wing. Taken up the side, still going, right into midfield where stolen back by the Chieftains. It goes out where the defender on the left side manages to save it. Out where it's stolen back by Hockinson at midfield. Number 6 dribbling with the ball, passes it up, but after a missed pass, it is passed back to the Columbia River goalie, where she starts another drive. Bounces off a Hockinson player, so they maintain possession at rather good field position. Passes it forward and is batted off a couple players before being retained by number 9 on Columbia River, where it's quickly stolen by number 4 on Hockinson, where she plays it back to number 6, plays it all the way back to number 9 to get another drive started. Back up to 6 in midfield, where she attempts to start another drive, up to a right winger, right up to number 13 on the right side. Played up and goes out of bounds for a goal kick. Allison Countryman goes to take another ball and get ready for the goal kick. She sets it up right at the right corner and waits. Right. After the adjustments on both teams, they're ready for the goal kick. The referee's whistle blows. She goes up and boots the ball right about into midfield, where it is retained by 21 on Columbia River, taken out by number 10. Played up the left wing. Right wing, dang it. Played up the right wing, where it's quickly stolen back by Hockinson and played up the side. Back to number 16. Back to the goalie, where she maintains possession and then boots it out to the right wing, where it's quickly received at midfield by number 12. Played forward up to the left wing. Then number 4 manages to kick it out, where it's quickly stolen back by Columbia River after an intercepted pass. The 23 back to a defender and played along through midfield, where after another intercepted pass back to Hockinson. They play it up the right wing, right into midfield, where it's stolen back by Columbia River. 23 plays it up the side, where it's stolen back right around midfield by Hockinson. They retaliate back to the goalie, number 0, and is passed forward to the right wing, up to center field. Where it's quickly stolen by Columbia River, and number 10 plays it on forward, where it's going to roll out of bounds for a Hockinson throw-in. As they set up, 2 substitutions are made on Columbia River's side. Number 13 for number 12, and number 19 for number 22. After the players get in possession, they're ready to throw it in. They throw it back right up to the right wing, where Columbia River steals it, is right around the corner kick line, where we're stolen back by Hockinson, where there's apparently a foul committed by Columbia River, as Hockinson will get the ball back. Played up along the left wing, batted back and stolen by Columbia River, where it pinballs off a couple players and goes eventually to Columbia River around midfield, where they played up the left wing. Up and a shot. And a great But after a great save, it was immediately tapped in by number 7, Reggie Griffith. And the celebrations begin as the ball is slowly kicked back to midfield to start another drive, starting with a Hockinson player kicking the ball. And Columbia River goes back into position to start another round. And is played back to number 4 on Hockinson. Pass forward to midfield, right on the left wing, played forward by number 11, where it's chased down by number 11, but couldn't be retained. And Ella Osborne, number 11, boots it down the right wing. Hockinson immediately retains the ball after that kick, but is quickly stolen back by Columbia River and then played out for a Hockinson throw-in. Up and is immediately headed out by Columbia River for another Hockinson throw-in. So, the ball is fetched for another Hockinson throw-in down at Columbia River's end. The players set up for the throw-in and get ready. The ball is thrown in and quickly received back by Columbia River, where it's played forward. Number 7 manages to retain the ball, pass it back to number 5 for another drive forward. Hockinson tightly contends the ball, but it is managed to be kicked back to the goalie, where she will retain it and then boot it forward to number 8. They still play it back to maintain the ball, but it's to no avail as Hockinson manages to put their toes on the ball for 1 second and then is quickly taken back by Columbia River and played up the right wing, where it's kicked off Columbia River by Hockinson for a Hockinson throw-in. Hockinson goes to grab the ball for the throw-in as all the players get set up once more. It is thrown in again, where it's quickly maintained by Columbia River and passed back to the midfield for another drive. But is quickly stolen by Hockinson back, and after a wobbly pass, it gets stolen once more by Columbia River, where it's passed back to the goalie to maintain possession for a while. While she's contended, she shoots it forward, and after a quick pass is stolen back by Hockinson. She kicks it to around midfield, and after a really tightly contended pass, Hockinson manages to retain the ball, and their defenders pass it around. They look for an open player to start the drive, and it's immediately deflected away. And after a tight contention, Columbia River battles it down to the right wing, where it's crossed in and blocked by a Hockinson player. It's taken by number 10 on Columbia River, and is is tightly contested, digging underneath the heap. And Hockinson manages to retain the ball, and number 13 plays it to the left side. Number 11 passes it back to number 16, and right back to the goalie, where she will hold the ball for a couple of seconds before making another pass out. She waits, looking for an open pass, and eventually finds it with number 16 on the left side, passed out to number 11, and played back to number 11, where it's taken up the right wing, and taken back by Hockinson, played up the right side this time by number 10, batted out to a forwarder, kicked more to midfield, and stolen by Columbia River. They pass it back to their defenders to start another drive, where it's quickly taken up the right wing before being stolen back by Hockinson. Passes it back right to midfield and bangs it out to the right side to continue play. Pass it to midfield, where it's tightly contested and sent back to Columbia River, where they maintain the ball into the defender position. Pass back to midfield, batted out to the right side, and stolen back by Columbia River after a tight contention. Number 6 of Hockinson seals the ball and passes it out to number 9 right in midfield, where it's quickly stolen back by Columbia River and played back to the midfield. It played out to a little bit more forward midfield, and then out to the right wing, where they hope to start a drive, but is quickly contested by Hockinson and is now throw-in for Hockinson. The players get set up for the throw-in, and a couple substitutions are made on Columbia and Hockinson's side. As the players get set and ready for another throw-in, the clock winds down to around 22 minutes. Ball's thrown in, and after a high throw-in is quickly retained by Columbia River and booted out to midfield, where after tight contention, Hockinson manages to take the ball back to around midfield out on the right wing. And after a tight contention, it flies out for a Hockinson throw-in. The players get set up for another throw-in as the game winds on. No substitutions this time around, as the players get ready to maintain the throw-in. She hesitates for a second, and after a fake-out, throws it in way far down to around the 20-yard line, and is stolen back by Columbia River and played back almost to the goalie box, and is passed forward where Hockinson throws it and gets a shot. Oh, but a great save by goalie Allison Countryman. The ball flies out, and another ball is recovered for the goalie kick. The players get set up as she waits. She walks forward at first and then runs forward and then gives it a great boom, where it's headed by Hockinson and then played out by Columbia River for a Hockinson throw-in. Hockinson gets prepared for another throw-in and is thrown out to midfield, where it's tightly contested, and after a while, stolen back by Columbia River. Oh, and a foul by Hockinson allows Columbia River to get a free kick, played by one of the defenders. And as Ella Osborne goes to kick the ball, everyone gets set up for the free kick. She waits for her teammates to get set in position. Then she runs up and kicks the ball. There it goes, right near the goalie, and they try to play off it, but it flies out of bounds for a goalie kick. The Hockinson forward and the Columbia River defense and midfielders get set back for the goalie kick and is sent out and played along the right side by a Hockinson midfielder. She blazes past some of the Columbia River midfielders and is immediately stopped, but the ball is retained by Hockinson. It's played back to left wing and then passed out to midfield. She hesitates for a second, looking for an open pass, and eventually she boots it off, but is quickly stolen back by Columbia River and played forward to number 7, where she manages to contain the ball after a tight possession. And a shot. Oh, and a goal! A great goal by number 12 as they run back to get set forward for yet another drive. There's around 19 minutes left in the game. It's Chieftain 2, Hockinson Hawks 0. Both Columbia River and Hockinson get ready for another play-in now. Pass back to left wing. Played to midfield by Hockinson. Oh, and after tight contention, there's a foul by Columbia River, where Hockinson gets to have a free kick at around the 50-yard line. She gets ready and then booms it out to right into Columbia River zone, where it's quickly stolen back by Columbia River, and then after tight contention is played out of bounds by Columbia River for a Hockinson throw-in. All the players get set back for another throw and is quickly passed to an open Hockinson midfielder. Is played back, and then played back again to midfield, where she looks for an open pass and eventually finds it on the right wing, where it's passed back, and then out to the left wing for number 16, and then forward, and then gets stolen by number 17 on Columbia River. Passes it up to left wing, right wing with number 17. And it's quickly played out by Hockinson for a Columbia River throw, and some substitutions are made on the Columbia River side of things. As the ball is retrieved for the throw-in, all the new Columbia River substitutions get ready for the throw-in. She gets set up at the line and tosses it in, where it's quickly played back to her and gone forward. But after a missed pass, the ball is pinballed around, where it's stolen by Columbia River and then Hockinson back and forth. And then after a while, it's stolen back by Columbia River after a quick drive by Hockinson. and played forward to number 17, where it's stolen back by Hockinson, and then quickly maintained on the left wing. It's once again stolen by Columbia River and are right near the goal, but they get a deflected shot off, but the goalie easily manages to save that. The ball is rolled out to the right wing, where it's played forward by a defender way on the right sideline. Played out, stolen by Columbia River, passed forward to midfield, where she fakes out a shot and then tries to go forward, but is quickly stopped by Hockinson and played to the left wing. Ball booms forward, and after a contention flies back right to where Hockinson is, and they maintain possession. Played out to midfield by number 11. Attempts to be played out to the right side, but is stolen back by Columbia River and played along the left wing. They take it back and are driving forward. Passes it forward to number 10 on the sideline. She looks for it. Oh, and offsides is called. Hockinson sets the ball up where the offsides occurred and gets ready for their free kick. Substitutions are made for both Hockinson and Columbia River, and the ball is set up for the free kick. As the players get set up and ready for the free kick, the ref gets ready to announce it. The whistle is blown. The player backs up, gets ready, and blasts it on the right wing, out to the forwarder, where it's quickly stolen back by Columbia River. Played back to the right wing. Played forward, and after a quick pass, is taken by number 17 along the right sideline. And after a missed pass, is taken by the goalie. She halts with it for a second before quickly laying it out on the left wing to one of the defenders. After a contested ball is kept by Hockinson and then immediately stolen back by Columbia River on the right wing. Played back, stolen by Hockinson. Dings off a Columbia River player right off to the right wing. She runs with the ball on the right side, where it's quickly played out by Columbia River and kicked out of bounds for a Hockinson throw-in. More substitutions are made on the Columbia River side of things, where number 23, Sydney Johnson, is being subbed in for number 7, Reggie Griffith. The players get ready for the throw-in as the ball is retrieved. The ref blows the whistle for the throw-in, and the ball is being held and then thrown out right onto the right wing, where it's kicked forward into midfield and then played off a Columbia River player, is quickly taken by Hockinson and then stolen by Columbia River off an intercepted pass. Tightly contested by number 6 and number 17 of Hockinson, but Hockinson manages to retain the ball, plays it back a little bit, holds onto it to look for an open pass, finds it number 17 in the backfield on the left wing, and plays it forward where it's stolen by Columbia River, number 7. She takes it into midfield, plays it to number 9, but is quickly stolen back by Hockinson, and then played in the backfield by the Chieftains. They pass it on the left wing, where it's stolen back by Hockinson. They pass it up the midfield at Columbia River side, and then after a tightly contested ball, Columbia River manages to maintain possession. They play it up on the right wing, sprinting forward on another drive. Is stolen back by one of the Hockinson defenders and played forward. They manage to maintain the ball after a tightly contested one. Off on the left wing. Into midfield it rolls, and then is maintained by one of the Hockinson forwarders, number 9. She maintains the ball, and after a tight defensive battle, it's managed to be stolen back by the Chieftains and then deflected off one of the Hockinson players. Hockinson manages to retain the ball. Another tightly contested battle, and a foul by Columbia River happens to allow the Hawks to get a free kick. She sets up early for it, and all the players get set down in Columbia River's end, hoping to get a header or kick it into the goal. The ball is adjusted, and all the players get set. They start migrating to the left side. They all get set up down there on the left side. And some final adjustments are made as the ball is kicked down through the field. Right into the goalie box. A header! Oh, and is wide right on the goal. So, all the players get spread out for another goal kick by Columbia River. More substitutions are made on Columbia River's side, this time number 17 being subbed in for number 22. The ball is set. The whistle is blown. She hesitates. And then she booms the ball forward, right to around the left side where Hockinson seals the ball back and plays it back to the right wing defender. Is played along the right sideline. Pass back. Retained. Pass back to midfield. Kicked forward to number 11 on the right side. And then gone out along the right sideline to the right defender, number 14, where after being outran, Columbia River plays it out, and it is decidedly a goal kick. Played back to the goalie, and all the players migrate forward for another goal kick. The players wait. The players anticipate. The goalie goes forward and kicks the ball. It goes out to run to the 30-yard line, where it's stolen back by Hockinson. Ooh, and then a rough foul by number 9 on Columbia River, allowing Hockinson to get another free kick. Another substitution is made, and the players get set up for the free kick. The players once again choose to wait on the left side. Substitution is made on Columbia River's side, this time number 9 for number 21. The wall of players is set, and the offenders are ready. After that loud substitution is played in, the whistle is blown. The ball is chipped up right to the goal. Oh, and played out with a beautiful save by number 0, Allison Countryman. And another Columbia River goal kick is now in effect. Sorry, my bad. A corner kick is now in effect for Hockinson. They set it for the corner kick, and all the players get ready. They start to rush in, and after a quick pass, the ball is taken by Hockinson. Kicked in. Oh, and a wonderful save by Columbia River. Oh, and after an offsides call, the ball is placed right out around the goal box line by the goalie. It's taken for a free kick. The players migrate forward to set up for the goal kick. She boots it, where it's received by Hockinson and pinballed off a couple of players, and then stolen by Columbia River, where they play it up on the left wing. Played forward, where number 10 goes to chase it down, and Hockinson tries to kick it off her, but she manages to maintain possession, and then is played out for a goal kick. Hockinson migrates forward on Columbia River back to accommodate for the goal kick. The ball is placed upon the line, and the players wait. Another substitution on the Columbia River side, this time number 12 for number 13. The ball is kicked out to the left wing, where it's received and passed out to the left sideline, where it's quickly stolen back by Columbia River and played into midfield. But after a slip, Hockinson manages to retain the possession. Midfielder number 11 takes it up the side, right out to number 10 on the right sideline. Played along the sideline into more midfield territory by one of the Hockinson forwarders. Quickly stolen back after an intercepted pass by number 10 and played on to number 22 in midfielder, where it's stolen back by Hockinson and played out to the goalie. She manages to obtain possession of the ball and kicks it forward, where it's quickly stolen after an intercepted pass and pinballed to number 21 on Columbia River's side. Taken up the right sideline, stolen back by Hockinson. Played to midfield by number 13. Passes it back to one of the defenders, number 8. Played along the right side by Hockinson. Boomed forward. and after the ball rolls gently along, is taken back by Columbia River at around the 40-yard line. Played back. So, after a slip is taken by Hockinson. After another slip, there seems to be an injury on the field of play. A player is down on the Hockinson side of a player's down on Columbia River side of the field on the Hockinson side, on the Hockinson team. And both teams huddle up to get ready for the next field as the coach walks out to greet the injured player. Both Columbia River and Hockinson strategize during this quick intermission. And after a minute on the ground, the Hockinson player was injured, manages to limp off the field, and another Columbia River substitution is made, this time number 22 for number 23. The person injured in question seems to be number 6 on Hockson's side, and she manages to begin to gimp off the field. Hopefully she will be okay, where she is substituted in for number 4 on Hockson's side, Katie Wagner. The players get ready for Hockson's free kick at around the 40-yard line. They migrate forward in anticipation. The whistle is blown. She walks up, gives the ball a boot, soars in, and is quickly saved by the goalie, Allison Countryman, where all the players flee backwards, and the ball is held. She drop kicks the ball. It soars in the air to around the 45. Both players go up for a header and miss, where eventually Columbia River is able to maintain possession at around the right sideline. And played on the ground. And after a trip, Columbia River manages to obtain a free kick. Columbia River sets up for this free kick where Ella Osborne will take it. 2 more substitutions for Hockinson side of the ball are made. The players get set up and ready. Here comes the kick. It soars out to around the 15, where after pinballing after a couple of people and more pinballing, it gets set by number 7, who crosses it in. And it's saved by a goalie, and then played forward. And Hockinson manages to defend it well. It's played out for a corner kick. And there seems to be a person down on Columbia River's side of things. It is number 10, Yanice Rodriguez. She gets up after a second, apparently knocked out of breath, and is played out for the corner kick, where she will take the corner kick. Players are immediately set up in anticipation for this goal kick. Hockinson squishes into the goal to try to defend. Anticipation. Runs forward and plays it quickly out to number 7, where it's quickly stolen back by Hockinson and played up the left wing. She drives with the ball very quickly. And then it's played off Columbia River for a Hockinson throw-in. Hockinson gets set up for the throw-in. It's tossed back to another Hockinson player, number 11. She goes out. The ball's now thrown in. Played up along the left wing, where it's quickly stolen back by Columbia River after a quick contention. Pass back to Ella Osborne on the left wing. Booted forward, headered, and number 7 chases down the ball right along the left wing. She crosses it into the middle, whereas rejected by Hockinson defender and played up along the left wing by Hockinson. She runs after the ball and gets it around the left side and manages to kick it back into play. where Columbia River manages to steal it after an intercepted pass. Played to midfield, kicked out, played back to the left wing, and is booted out to number 7. He chases after the ball, manages to obtain it right around the 20-yard line. Batters it off a Hockinson player, where it's received right around the goal box, and a shot, and it goes wide on the left side of the goal. Another ball is brought in for the Hockinson goal kick, and the players get set. It is quickly kicked out to the left wing. Is played forward. Immediately kicked back by Columbia River, and they start another drive. Number 10 manages to keep the ball in. Cross. Oh, and a goal! Amazing kick after the cross by number 7 on Columbia River side. Reggie Griffith. After the cross, immediate tapping over the goalie's head. And after a quick celebration, Columbia River passes it out to midfield for Hockinson to start another drive. Played back. Played out to the right wing. Waited for a pass. Finds one. Passes out to number 14 on the left wing. Manages to sneak it forward. Played along the left side one. Right in. But has managed to be stolen back and played off by the goalie right onto the right wing. Right around the corner. Passed out into midfield. Kicks it forward once more. Oh. And apparently another foul is had by Hockinson for his Columbia River free kick. At around midfield. Ella Osborne to take the kick. The players are set. And oh, my bad. It is actually to be a Hockinson throw-in at around the 10-yard line. The ball is chucked in right around midfield, headed off to a couple of people, and after a quick kick, goes out to the right wing where Hockinson receives it. Played back. Number 8 manages to hold onto a ball for a sec before being passed out to the right wing and then immediately back. Ball is played forward. Number 8 runs with the ball, passes it forward to the right wing after an intercepted pass is stolen back by Columbia River. Played in the middle. Ooh, and played out by Hockinson, where they chased down the ball to avoid it from going out of bounds. Played up the right wing. Passed back, and then booted forward right along midfield, where Columbia River manages to steal the ball back. Played out, and after chasing down the ball, is stolen by Hockinson after an intercepted pass, and then after a wayward pass goes out of bounds for a Chieftains throw-in. Columbia River gets set up for another throw-in as another substitution is made on the Columbia River side. I think this time number 13, Amelia Miller, for number 9, Kyla Castro. The players get set up for the throw-in. Throws it down the right wing, headed off to a couple more people, and then a hand to the face causes quite a lot of controversy. And then another throw-in by Columbia River is to be had. Columbia River and Hockinson both get ready for the throw-in. Taken to the line. The ball is thrown. Ooh. And then after a wayward throw-in, the ball should be thrown in by Hockinson. Actually, it is a foul, so it'll be played in by Hockinson. Kick the ball down midfield and goes past everyone right around the 10-yard line, where the ball is crossed in, and then it falls out, going short and allowing for a goal kick by Columbia River. And that is halftime. The score, the Columbia River Chieftains 3, the Hockinson Hawks 0. And as the players go off the field, the second half will begin shortly.
Columbia River would like to introduce our new associate principal, Mr. Nick Davies.
So at Columbia River, I'm an associate principal in charge of athletics.
A former teacher and coach at Jesuit High School, Mr. Davies has come to River to take the place of Tony Liberatore, who is moving to Fort Vancouver High School. Becoming a new associate principal, Mr. Davies has to deal with a lot.
Could be leadership meetings with the other associate principals and Mr. Odepal, certainly dealing with coaches and any athlete issues, like a lot of eligibility issues at the beginning of the season. Any ninth grade discipline or anything that comes up with ninth graders. It could be like if they get hurt in PE class or things like that. I deal with ninth graders along with facilities.
Although his job seems tough, Mr. Davies believes that what he does has its benefits.
So not eating in the carpeted areas does mean not eating.
Mr. Davies believes in building good academic relationships between teachers and students, and he wants to bring that kind of development to Columbia River.
So certainly when I was a teacher, I'd look back on, I was a math teacher and I had a favorite math teacher, and he was phenomenal at just getting kids to buy into doing math and wanting to do more math, not just like the minimum to pass the class, but to keep going and learning more just for the sake of learning. And so trying to emulate that and model that when I became a teacher, because I knew how well it resonated, not just with me, but any of his students, I tried to do that as well, and then just carry that on. The best teachers, and you guys would probably agree, the best teachers you have are the ones who create the best relationships with. And that's true whether you're a teacher or any employee in a school. We're just trying to build relationships with kids. So I've tried to model that as well. Don't worry.
That was nice. They just filled the door until you walked out.
I think pretty sure.
Yeah. No, we actually won't.
So I've lived in Vancouver for a while now. It's actually unrelated to the job, but I'm most looking forward to living close or working close to home. I live in the area, and so I had a 21-mile commute to Jesuit last year, and I've got a 2-mile commute to River now, which means I get to see my family more often.
Mr. Davies is excited to get to work and ready to
Anything
see
else?
our school spirit firsthand.
You want to add something?
This is my first high school in Vancouver. Yeah.
You ever think you were going to be good at school? Being part of the Columbia River community is about being part of a team, a collective of people that we're accountable to each other.
Really making sure that you are setting the standard in both excellence for academics, clubs, sports, absolutely. But I think that since River has been so good for so long, I think that it is doing your best every single day, and it is really maintaining that standard.
Is a sense of pride in all that I do. And it also means to me being a part of a family and a legacy that's actually defined by tradition.
You know, I moved here 31 years ago with my wife, and I knew nobody. And now, everywhere I go, I see former students making differences in our community.
Being able to honor the people that have come before us is something that is so important, because they're the reason we are where we are now.
It kind of sets the standard for what you want to achieve and what you want to exceed the standard.
And I think that our best way to honor them is to say we are going to take that legacy and bring our own footprint to it and our own mantra, wherever else we need to do to make that legacy that much better.
I always feel like I'm standing, I'm standing on the shoulders of greatness. And I always feel like right now I am holding the torch for the future. I am the torch bearer right now. And my hope is that I will be able to keep the tradition of excellence going so that I will be able to pass the torch onto somebody else someday that will be able to keep this wonderful tradition going.
Us as teachers, seniors as leaders, that's our job, to keep that tradition alive and keep us, we give our eyes on the prize.
It's that pursuit of perfection, and even though you don't get it, you can still get excellence. And I think it's also the fact that everyone really cares about each other.
This school tries really hard to provide opportunities for every student to feel like they're a part of our family.
If we, work together and team together and show what we expect, excellence every day, every minute, every hour, loving each other, taking care of each other.
That the excellence comes from having perseverance, staying with the task even when things get difficult, having some grit and some perseverance. I think that's what makes excellent people. I think that's what makes excellent work in a work environment and students, and I really see that at Columbia River.
Everyone is so connected. Everyone is so much into the sports and the clubs and the academics. I think that honestly that helps to build the excellence that we have here. I think because everyone is so connected, they want to be there for each other. And I think that is what ultimately helps us to propel us forward and make us even better than we possibly could be.
We have a really tremendous student body. They're leaders, they're innovators, they're scientists, they're amazing athletes. They care and serve one another.
You see that excellence bleed over into life, and you see those kids doing, our current kids doing things in the community that make a difference, that start them on a way of caring about not just themselves, but about excellence and about helping out everybody in the community.
Go away. Okay. All right. And both Hockinson and Columbia River are now huddling up to begin the second half in only a couple of seconds. Everyone is now set in the huddle and getting ready. The timer is set. The whistle is blown. The buzzer buzzes. And strategies are now created for both teams to do their best in the second half. The key for the Hawks right now is to play it very aggressively, as they're now down by 3 scores. And Columbia River, all they really need to do is tighten it up on defense, so much so that the Hawks cannot possibly score, and they can easily maintain their 3-0 lead. Columbia River gets set up on the opposite side, the right side this time, and Hockinson gets set up on the left side. Columbia River is now ready to is now ready to kick the first ball of the half. Everyone is set up. Everyone is anticipating the start. The excitement grows. One more player of Hockinson's side gets set up. The cheering commences. And the ball is kicked, starting the second half. It's immediately played back to the right wing and then played back to the midfielder with Otto Osborne kicking it forward. tried to getting it to left wing, but is quickly punted away by Hockinson, trying to playing it forward. But after a tight contention, Hockinson manages to retain the ball in midfield, is passed forward, and then stolen by Columbia River. Played out on the right wing, up a little bit, back more to like midfield, up even more to midfield, and then passed off to the right wing again, where a foul is had, and Columbia River is allowed to get a free kick. Ella Osborne to take the free kick at around the 25-yard line. The anticipation grows. She runs up and blasts the ball away to the opposing forward. Kneed up by someone, is now still on the right sideline. Columbia River tries to maintain possession, kicks it forward, travels up on the right side where Hockinson steals it, and then is kicked off a Columbia River player for a Hockinson throw-in. The ball is retrieved for the throw-in, and the players get set up. The throw-in is to be taken by what seems to be number 5 of Hockison's side. I'm sorry, there's not a number 5 on Hockison's side at all. The ball is played out by number 23. Played forward. Ball is played out to the left wing by Hockinson. Punted forward. Taken up the side. Oh, and stolen back by Columbia River. Played out to midfield. And foul committed by Hockinson to allow Columbia River to get a free kick. Ball is played out by Ella Osborne. Out to number 7, Reggie Griffith. Taken along the side by number 12, Julie Cash. Played in. Tries to look for the shot. Passes it back out to number 10, Yasni Rodriguez. Pass out. Back to 13. Up to 22. Crosses it in. Oh, and blocked. And the shot is by number 17 is blocked by Hockinson. And it's played out by Columbia River for a Hockinson throw. The ball is rolled in to be thrown in. The player set up. Time winds down, and the ball is thrown in along the left side, headed out by Columbia River, where it's maintained by Hockinson. Oh, and after a controversial shove, the ball will be given to Columbia River for a free kick. The free kick will be taken by number 10. Yes, indeed, number 10. Yasni Rodriguez. The free kick is set up this time on the left side. Ball is booted out, headed. Oh, and goes far right, and almost in the throw-in territory, but it rolls out just barely on the back side of the left corner for a goal kick. Passed out to the left wing. Passed down. Oh, is immediately ticked out by Columbia River, and after a controversial call, it goes to Hockinson. The ball is thrown in by Hockinson, retained by number 13, Grace Abbott. Played back out, stolen by Columbia River, number 22, Gracia Larson. Oh, and after a shove down, there will be a free kick by Hockinson. Made back to the spot where the foul was, so there can be a free kick. The players migrate to their positions to get ready for the free kick. Ball set. The whistle is blown. She runs forward, blasts the ball into midfield at around the 20-yard line. Ooh, and is missed by Columbia River defender. It is played out at the left side of Columbia River goal for a goal kick. Goal kick to be taken by the goalsman, Allison Countryman. She backs up. The ball is kicked. Flies out around the side, headed by Hockinson. Taken in by number 12, Ellie Ritter. Played around the side. Taken back by number 9. passed out to number 12 on Columbia River, Julie Cash. And immediately played out to the side of number 10, Yazzie Rodriguez. Right out along the left sideline. Manages to get the ball all the way down into Hockison's end, where it's contested and stolen back by Hockinson, where it's kicked out for Columbia River thrown on the left side. The ball is thrown in, taken by number 7, Reggie Griffith. Played back to midfielder, number 20, Ava Bell. Passed out to the right side by number 5, Lucy Ianello. Stolen by Hockinson. Played forward into midfield. Played it again into midfield to number 9, Ellie Seekins. Pass back to the midfield and taken by the goalie, Laura Madison Perry. Played out to the right side and taken by Columbia River. Pass back to number 22, Gracia Larson. Pass all the way back to the right wing, Ella Osborne. Pass back to midfield. Was taken. Pass forward more to the right wing. Was played out to number 5, Lucia Ianello. Played forward more on the left side, where it's passed to Yasni Rodriguez. She makes a move on the right side. Oh, and slips where the ball is allowed to be maintained by Hockinson. After a runoff, Columbia River manages to seal the ball back, where it's played to the right defenseman and back to the goal, Allison Countryman, to be passed out to Ella Osborne once more. Boone forward into midfield, where it's intercepted by Hockinson. Pass forward after a quick pass to right side of Hockinson. Boone forward to the goalie, where she makes a quick save, and players migrate forward for the goalie throw-in. She goes forward, punts the ball right at around midfield, and after bouncing around and being contested, the ball goes to Columbia River, and then stolen back by Hockinson after an intercepted pass. Played forward to midfield, where it's stolen again by Columbia River, number 23, Sydney Johnson. Played back to midfield, number 20, Ava Bell. Stolen back by Hockinson. Played in midfield. And after tight contentionship, the Hockinson player still manages to retain the ball running around the left wing. Pass, whereas then finally stolen by Yasni Rodriguez. Pass forward on the right wing. Or number 17, Great Russell drives the ball forward at the 20, the 10, right around in the goal box now. Oh, and it's played out for a goal kick. The players begin to get set up for the goal kick. The ball has to be retrieved, and 2 substitutions are made on the sideline. Number 17 for number 21, and number 20 for number 19. Number 21 being Andy Buckley, and number 19 being Logan Dukes. The ball is finally retrieved by number 10, Yasni Rodriguez. Where it's actually going to be a corner kick. Most likely bounce off a Hockinson player. The ball is placed. Anticipation begins to set. She backs up. The ball is kicked right around the midfield, where it's trying to be headed. And after a quick contentionship with the goalie, number 22 gives it a great kick, Gracia Larson, and it bounces off the side of the goal for a goal kick. The goalie plays it forward up the left wing, where Hockinson retains the ball right around the left sideline, and after tight contention with Columbia River, Hockinson bats it off a Columbia River player to get a throw-in. Ball is retrieved for the throw-in. And the rain continues to flow down, with there only being 30 minutes left in the game. The ball is thrown in. Played up along midfield, where number 9, Caitlin Broden passes it off to number 11 on the right wing, Brooke Gross. Oh, and it's saved by goalie Allison Countryman after a quick shot. However, as she stepped out the ball, is now The ball is to now be played in a corner kick. Both Columbia River and Hockinson get set up for this goal kick. This corner kick. They're both set up for the corner kick. A quick substitution is made on Columbia River side. That will be number 9 Kyla Castro for number 8 Giselle Valencia Mendez. Pass out by Hockinson. Tightly contested. Columbia River tries to get it out, but is quickly maintained by Hockinson. Pinballs up a couple of players, and then finally booted out. Hockinson maintains that around center field. Booted right back into Columbia River zone and then is allowed to roll for fear of an offsides right to the goalie, Allison Countryman. She halts for a second, then drop kicks the ball right onto more of the left wing side, and is headed multiple times by Columbia River and Hockinson players alike before the ball is finally retained by Hockinson. Hockinson plays the ball in midfield, passes it forward, off to the right wing. The ball is received and played along the right sideline. Booted back into the middle, into midfield. Then stolen by Columbia River, number 5. You'll see Isano, and then she runs off the ball, and then pass quickly a couple more times back to Ianello, where she continues with the ball before being stuffed up by 2 Hockinson players, where the goalie is to pick up and maintain the ball. Columbia River and Hockinson get set up for the goalie throw-in. The ball's drop kicked to around midfield. And after Columbia River failing to receive it, is received by Hockinson. Number 11, Brooklyn Groves gets the ball once more. Plays into midfield, where it's quickly stolen by number 8, Valencia Mendez, and past Reggie Griffith, and past number 8, Valencia Mendez. After a couple more passes thrown out, where it's quickly once again thrown in by Hockinson, where they manage to play the ball up the right sideline. And after tight contentionship, they manage to hold on, and then it's quickly booted out of the zone by Ella Osborne, and played out by Yasni Rodriguez onto the right sideline. Taken back into midfield by Yasni. Taken all the way to the left by Yasni. Passed finally off to Amelia Miller on the right sideline. Then there's a foul by Columbia River, allowing Hockinson to get a free kick at around the 25-yard line. The ball is set up. My bad. A Columbia River free kick. The ball set up and set to be kicked by Yasni Rodriguez. The player set up. The whistle is blown. The ball is kicked, and a quick save. And the save is bobbled. And after a quick moment of having their breath held, Hockinson manages to breathe freely as they manage to get the ball out, and now playing it along the right sideline. Played up by number 11, Gross, and is passed up into midfield. Taken back on the left sideline. Played in the midfield once more. Batted off a Columbia River player, and the Columbia River defense manages to obtain the ball and chuck it forward back into midfield, where it's headed by a couple of Hockinson players, and then passed off to the right side, and then into the middle, and where Columbia River manages to intercept a pass, and then Hockinson manages to intercept a pass, where the ball is finally obtained by Sydney Johnson, and then played back and up to Gracia Larson. Plays it along the left sideline, passed up to Anna Iniguez as she chases the ball down, stolen back by Hockinson, and then played out for a Columbia River throw-in. Players are set up. The ball is passed in. Number 22, Gracia Larson, to take this throw. She chucks it in. And after a fall, is played in for a goal kick. It's quickly kicked out to the left wing where Hockinson receives the ball, plays it up along the side, kicks it over a Columbia River player, and it is kicked into the air. And after being contested, there was a foul by Columbia River, and Hockinson gets a free kick. Quickly passed into the middle, and then to the right sideline, where number 10 manages to hold it, and then pass back into the middle and back up to the left sideline in zigzag formation, up to number 12. Booted forward, deflected by a Columbia River player. After a quick header is stolen and played into midfield by number 10, Yasni Rodriguez. She takes it into midfield and started to play it onto the left side, and being chased after by quite a few Hockinson players. Played all the way to the left side and all the way to the out of bounds line, and managed to barely be kept in on left sideline in the goal line. Oh, and after a missed kick, and another kick and a goal by number 8, Giselle Valencia Mendez on Columbia River side. And after a short celebration, Columbia River heads back to start yet another drive with 23 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. The score is Chieftains 4, Hockinson Hawks 0. Hockinson gets ready for the kick. The ball is kicked into the back midfield. Spoon forward onto more the left side, deflected off of Columbia River, passes it forward to Valencia Mendez, played back to number 19, Logan Dukes, pass forward to number 22, Gracia Larson. The ball is stolen back by Hockinson, number 12, Ellie Ritter, and passes into midfield for the shot. Oh, and a goal by Hockinson. That was their first of the night. Oh, never mind. The ball is called. Wait, no, never mind. It is a goal. It is a goal. They were thinking it was offside. It was offsides for a second, but it was indeed a goal. Now the score after 1 more minute to play: Chieftains 4, Hawks 1. A substitution was made on Chieftains side for Sydney Johnson for Kyla Castro. Played back to Valencia Mendez. Played forward to number 21, Andy Bucky. Is stolen by Hockinson and played into midfield, where number 19, Logan Duke, steals it back for Columbia River. Deflected by Hockinson, stolen back on the left wing. Hockinson plays it out, battles it back into midfield. Oh, and a foul by Hockinson allows Columbia River to gain a free kick. Free kick is to be taken by Ella Osborne at around the 24-yard line. Ball is quickly kicked up to number 8, Valencia Mendez. Played back by Osborne. Taken by Castro. Played back on the right wing by Lucia Ianalo. Played forward and stolen by Hockinson, where he's taken up and played into midfield. Backs it up a little. Passes it forward onto the left side, where Hockinson takes the ball. Stolen by Columbia River, booted off onto the left wing, and taken back by Hockinson, where they play into the backfield and hope for another drive. Play it up on the left wing, boots it forward. Stolen after pinballing around, is taken back by Hockinson at around the 30. Passes it back, stolen by River. Passed on to the right wing. Played back by Rodriguez. Pass forward to midfield, where Miller waits a pass. Pass it forward to Andrew Buckley. Played forward to Ianello on the right wing. Crosses it in, and a quick save by the goalie, Madison Perry. Now a couple more substitutions. This time we have Amelia Miller for Julia Cash, and Reggie Griffiths also being subbed in. Is played off the left sideline. Bounce off Hockinson, taken back by the Chieftains. Number 9 Castro. Then Hockinson manages to retain the ball and strategize around the left wing. Immediately pass forward, and after being contested is is contested by quite a few players and stolen back by River. Passed quickly along to number 12, Julia Cash on the left side. After being contested for a minute, the ball is stolen back by Hockinson. Played for it on the left side. Pass where number 13 maintains the ball and holds it. Pass out to midfield. Pass back to the left wing. Back to midfield, back again. Beams it forward to around the 50-yard line. Taken on the right wing by Hockinson. Quickly tapped away by Osborne, and after a contested strip, she kicks it out to the stands and is a Hockinson throw-in. Another substitution is made on Columbia River. This time, number 17, Grace Russell, for number 18, Anna Nenges. My bad. Is played in by Hockinson. The ball is taken by Columbia River back. Passed out by Cash to the right wing, where it's played for by Ianella, and then stolen back by Hockinson and played back to the goalie, Madison Perry. It's not Perry. It's not Perry anymore in the second half. It's Amanda Jones. My bad. The ball is played in the air for a while, and eventually possession is reclaimed by Hockinson. They play it forward onto the left wing, headed, and then after a couple deflections, maintained by Hockinson. Played along the left wing still. Ball is dribbled along, backing up a little. So on the left wing, number 13 manages a deke out of a player, bats it off. Reggie Griffith plays it back onto the left wing, where it's beamed into midfield, and is bodied by Ella Osborne, and then beamed out into field of play, where it rolls along and bounces along until around the 25-yard line, where it's played back to Amanda Jeske, and is played forward by Hockinson once more. Along the left wing now, they beam the ball out. Where after deflection there is an injury on the field of play, where after being kicked after reflection, it beamed Gracia Larson in the head, but after a second of being down on the ground and dazed, she gets it back up. A couple of substitutions are made. This time, Larson for Rodriguez. And after a second of conversation, the ball is to be kicked by Hockinson at around the 26-yard line. Seconds more of anticipation tick by as more explaining of the situation goes on. And finally, after a while, Grace Abbott gets to kick the ball, where it's immediately played back to the goalie, Allison Countryman. And she hesitates with the ball for a second as her fellow teammates get set up. She kicks the ball out to around the 50, where number 21, Andy Buckley takes it. Played forward by Julia Cash, right along midfield, where it's passed out to Grace Russell. Crossed into the middle, and then bounces off Cash as it goes outside for a goal kick. More substitutions are made on both Columbia River and Hockinson side. This time, Sydney Johnson for Valencia, Giselle Valencia Mendez, and 3 substitutions on Hockinson side of the ball. These substitutes get ready for another goal kick. And this is the halfway point in the final quarter of the game. To score Chieftains for Hawks 1. is played out onto the left wing by Hockinson. Kicked out into midfield, where it's quickly received by Lucian Ayanel and played back to Osborne, where she kicks it forward to Castro. The ball is played out onto the right wing, where it's taken by Grace Russell. Played forward into Sydney Johnson to midfield, where the ball is taken away by Hockinson and played back into midfield. A drive is starting to begin, but is cut off by Castro. It's played back into the backfield, where Hockinson can formulate another drive. Pressure set on by Julia Cash, but Hockinson manages to get the ball off along the left wing. Ball is passed forward at midfield, taken by Hockinson, and played on the right wing. Then after a while, the ball is played into the midfield, bounced off a couple of Columbia River players, taken by Hockinson. After being contested, Hockinson manages to retain it a little farther back on the right wing. Taken back a bit more by Hockinson into midfield. Ball is passed out onto the left wing, then onto the left sideline. The ball is contested by Cash and then eventually played out for a Hockinson throw-in. The ball is thrown in. Hockinson receives it, plays it along the left sideline, plays it back a little, passes it into midfield where it's deflected off of Andy Buckley. And Andy Buckley manages to take the ball and pass it on to Grace Russell on the right wing. The ball is played out, and there shall be a throw-in for River. While the ball is being retrieved, River sets up for apparently a free kick instead of a throw-in at around the 35-yard line on Hockinson's. Rodriguez is to take the kick. She boots it around the 10-yard line in the goalie box. Hockinson plays it off and tries to get it away, but Russell manages to keep it in. Pass it off. Dinks off of Grace where she takes a shot and it flies over the middle for a goal kick. Another substitution is made. This time we have Reggie Griffith for Amelia Miller. And a goal kick for Hockinson will be taken by one of the defenders. Ball is kicked off into midfield, where it's played off of Sydney Johnson and then taken quickly by Amelia Miller. Passed back a bit more to Yasni Rodriguez and played back to Ella Osborne at around the left wing. Taken forward by Sydney Johnson, and after being contested, the ball is batted off of Hockinson and played back where it's taken by Castro and then passed forward. Batted off of Hockinson, and then after a quick attempt to save the ball from going out of bounds, it's going to be a throw-in for the Chieftains. The ball is thrown in back to Osborne. Plays it into midfield with Rodriguez. She takes the ball and passes it back to Countryman. She takes it, plays it out to Rodriguez once more on the left wing, and then is kicked out to the left sideline and battled for. Eventually, River manages to maintain the ball, and then after a pass, it goes back to Hockinson. Played back on the left wing by one of the defenders. Pass forward by Hockinson. Now on the left sideline. The ball is dinged in. Osborne booms it back, and after quite a few headers and a tightly contested ball, Hockinson manages to maintain. Then is stolen by River. Played out by Dukes. Thrown in by Hockinson. And then quickly passed out to midfield by Hockinson. Out on the right wing now. Pass forward into midfield. Stolen by Sydney Johnson. And taken by Castro on the right wing. Played forward by Russell. Into midfield where after being contested is maintained by Sidney Johnson on Columbia River. Pass back to Logan Dukes. Played back by Yasni Rodriguez to Ella Osborne. She takes the ball into the right wing, pass it forward to Russell after a couple more passes. Is taken on the right sideline, where it's stolen back by Hockinson, played in the middle. Passes it back. Passes it out to the left wing. And passed off Logan Dukes for a throw on Hockinson. A couple more substitutions are made. This time Julia Cass for Reggie Griffith, and two more on Hawkinson's side. Number 14 for number 18. And after a couple seconds waiting, the throw in by Hawkinson. Pass off. Gone up upon the left sideline. Managed to be kept in by Rodriguez, and then bounces off. And after controversial call is thrown Hockinson. Ball is thrown in. Rodriguez bicycle kicks. Hockinson manages to see on the midfield. Oh, and Ella Osborne manages to make a great stop before the ball can be shot. The ball is played now by Andy Buckley. Hockinson seals a great shot and goes just wide over the right side of the goal for a goal kick by Allison Countryman. And a couple more substitutions. This time we have Castro for Valencia Mendez and Lucy Yanello for Sidney Johnson. Right, the ball is played off by Valencia Mendez. Taken by Hockinson. Played. Oh, and after a missed pass, goes out of bounds for a throw in Chieftains. Mm-hmm. The Chieftains grab the ball for the throw-in, to be taken by Amelia Miller. Played in, stolen by Hockinson. Played to midfield, tapped off, and after tightly contested, managed to be kicked away by Reggie Griffith back to Hockinson. Oh, she rams into a Hockinson player, and she kicks the ball off of Hockinson for a Chieftains throw-in. The throw-in will be taken by Logan Dukes, and a couple more substitutions made on Hawkinson's side. Ball is kicked off of Andy Buckley, and is taken back by Hockinson after being pinballed off for a couple more people, and then eventually they manage to maintain possession along the left sideline. They play it back, and after avoiding a couple more people, Hockinson plays it back a bit more. After being tightly contested by quite a few players, it is passed into the midfield by Hockinson forward, off to the right sideline, and then back more to right midfield. Then into center field. The ball is kicked, and Hockinson players rush forward to get it, but it's taken by Ella Osborne, where she commits what I believe to be a handball, and Hockinson gets a free kick. Hockinson gets set up for the free kick as Columbia River goes back and sets up a wall. The anticipation and players set in. Strategies are formed. The whistle is blown. The kick is taken. It flies back to the goal where it barely goes top right. The goal kick to be taken in by Countryman. She sets up. Both Hockinson and Columbia River get ready. The kick is taken. Flies around the left side. and then is taken by Reggie Griffith along midfield. The ball is then stolen by Hockinson at around midfield, and then is passed back onto more the left wing. It's taken along the left sideline, kicked in, but it's called out of bounds for a Columbia River throw at around midfield. The ball is tossed to the position where the throw-in will be. Actually at around the 40-yard line on Columbia River side. And then a foul is committed against Reggie Griffith, and there will be a free kick at around the 45-yard line on Hockinson's side. The kick is to be taken by Logan Dukes. It's passed back to Rodriguez. Pass into midfield to Ella Osborne. She takes the ball, passes out to the right wing, where the pass is intercepted by Hockinson, and then contested, and then finally won by Hockinson, but closely contested by Amelia Miller. Passes it off to the left wing. Then after avoiding a couple more River players, Hockinson passes it back. Then there's to be a free kick for Hockinson at around the 50-yard line on the left sideline. Columbia River and Hockinson set up. The kick is taken to midfield, actually to the right wing, and the Columbia River players rush in to take the ball. The ball is played to midfield forward. The ball is taken by Sydney Johnson. Played along the right wing with Inenguez, and is picked up by the Hockinson goalie Amanda Jeski, and then played forward into midfield. The ball is boomed to around the 50-yard line, and then is taken at the right sideline, kicked off a River player to where Sydney Johnson received the ball, plays it in midfield, continues to play it forward to where now Andy Buckley will take it. Passed off to Reggie Griffith, played along the left side where Sydney Johnson will again take the ball, plays it around the back, and after being contested by Hockinson, passes it off to Amelia Miller on the left sideline. Played off, crossed into the middle, taken at around the right side and played into the middle by Charlize Eastley. Then the ball is played forward to midfield by Hockinson along the right sideline. Continuing to play forward, right into the goalie box where the kick will be intercepted by Allison Countryman. 2 minutes left in the game, folks. 2 minutes left in the game. Then the score is Chieftains 4, Hawks 1. The ball is played to midfield where it rolls off a couple of players and goes back to Hockinson. The ball is passed back to the goalie, Amanda Jeski. Played forward, right around the left sideline. Boomed forward by Hockinson, where it's headed by a couple of players, and eventually after a quick skirmish maintained by River and passed off to Amelia Miller on the left sideline. She plays into midfield where Valencia Mendez is waiting. Passes it off to Inenguez. Manages to keep it in for a cross and is received by Hockinson. Then the ball is played forward by Hockinson on the right sideline. Played forward more, where the defenders set up their ploy. Is rushed by Hockinson, but the Columbia River defenders manage to step in and prevent any shots from happening. A few more substitutions are made by Columbia River. This time we have Julia Cash and Kyla Castro being subbed in for Andy Buckley and Amelia Miller. They set up for the corner kick. The whistle is blown. The corner kick is taken way out to the left sideline by Hockinson. Kicked back in, and the ball flies wide right. And that is the end of the game. Your final score: the Columbia River Chieftains 4 and the Hockinson Hawks 1. Another win by the varsity girls Columbia River team as they managed to make this season 4-0. Until next time, I'm Taryn Orr, and that's how the cookie crumbles.